Hey guys, this is Jon
and Austin,
and welcome to another episode of the Meatgistics Podcast. So a couple of things before we get going. This is going to come out on Friday. On Monday, so 3 days from when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on the day it comes out, starts our Thanks Black Monday sale. We have an awesome sale lined up for you guys. It is our escalating sale. So it's 3 different parts. The first part are items that are going to be on sale from the Monday before Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday. The second part is good from Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving, to Cyber Monday. And the third round of sales are good only on Cyber Monday. Also on Cyber Monday, we are going to do a live stream at waltonsinc.com/live. Time still kind of a moving target. We're not exactly sure when we'll start. Usually we do that. We start around 2. We used to do noon, but I don't feel like talking for 5 hours anymore.
Yeah, it probably doesn't have to be 5 hours, but it should be at least a couple few hours.
Okay, so we'll probably start somewhere around noon. Just a little.
Wait, I thought you said 2.
2, not noon.
Okay,
I said noon the second time.
Yeah.
Just a little taste. We've got in every phase of it, we have at least $100 off an individual item. So there are going to be lots of good sales to snap up here. Definitely consider the fact that we now have all of our own branded equipment as to what will be on sale. So I won't say more than that, but there will be Walton stuff featured very heavily. And then in the live stream on Cyber Monday, we always take suggestions from the audience and try to put a few things on sale that you guys are requesting. And then we usually have a few coupon codes that are larger than average. And it'll be like first 2 people to get to use coupon code Jon is Awesome or something like that.
Have you already like pre-set up coupon codes?
I have not. I do have all of the sale price lists ready to go. I did have all of the order ready to go, but now I know that's not how we do it, so I won't be doing that. But yeah, so we're all ready to go for this sale. We have enough stock on everything. I just checked that the other day. One thing, all of these sales are while supplies last. That's just going to be standard for us from now on. With the ever escalating prices in our field and in every field, it's impossible to keep a sale going in perpetuity.
Yeah. It's
really no comment on me using that enormous word, perpetuity.
Perpetuity. Can you define the word? Do you even know you used it properly, but can you actually define the word?
Without an end.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yes. That's what I'm hoping to get. This weekend, I will be going on the governor's hunt with your dad, and none of his sons are going. So surrogate father, son, dad time.
No, he has a son going.
Me.
His name is Allie. see if my sister hears this. She hates it when she gets included as like one of the boys.
One of the boys, yeah.
But she's going, so he'll at least have
a Walton,
a child there. Yeah. But
I'm super excited Allie's going. It's been a long time since I've got to spend any time with her, and she and I get along really well.
You'll have lots to talk about. She was texting me today asking about crypto, and I'm like, no, really? I don't do any of that. So you'll have to talk crypto with her.
Sure.
She'll be pumped for that. And you guys, I don't know, you guys are just weird. You guys fit together well.
Yeah,
so.
Not financial advice, but by the end of 2024, Bitcoin will be at $1 million each. Almost guarantee it.
No.
Almost guarantee it. So, all right, not financial advice. Don't do anything. I am literally an idiot. My mom had me tested, and I am an idiot. So, all right. So we got the sales coming on. We've got the live stream coming up. We've had a bunch of new products coming in recently, but I think we've talked about everything new that's come in. There's been some new Excalibur seasonings that came in. We went through and taste tested all of them. Really, really good. Out of all the ones that I've been using at home, I think the Havana is my favorite.
Ooh, I have to disagree with you there.
What do you like?
Hands down, the best one is the firecracker rub.
No, definitely not hands down.
I am putting that on everything right now. I might grow like a little bit tired of it and stop putting it on literally everything, but it's my new butter garlic. Like it doesn't matter what I'm eating at home. It's like more firecracker rub. That sounds good.
Okay.
So
I like the Havana rub because it's got a little bit more spice to it, like almost like a lingering heat than the firecracker rub does. I do like the firecracker rub. I do want to say I went out and got some good, just plain vanilla bean ice cream and put that blackberry pepper on it. And it was phenomenal.
I might have to try that tonight.
It was so good. You had a very, very, very slight hint of pepper in it. Like the taste, the ice cream, the fat in that, and the blackberry taste overwhelm the pepper. You get it just a little bit, but you've got some extra salt. So it pops nice with the fat, sweet of the ice cream. It's just all around. It's great.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
That sounds amazing.
I tried firecracker rub, Havana, and the blackberry pepper all on some shrimp. And the blackberry pepper should just not be used on shrimp. That should seem like it's obvious, but you have to find these things out for yourself, I guess. Firecracker rub was good, but the Havana was the best. Havana, I don't know how to say that.
Interesting. So when I first was talking about the firecracker rub, I had said it kind of was like it had a bit of like the hot buffalo wing shake to it. What else is different about it? Because it has kind of that taste to me like it should be on like a chicken wing. I think it fits well for that. But I actually read the bottle and read what was on there, and it was talking about spicy ranch. And I'm like, that is it. It's spicy ranch, and I love ranch. If you classify ranch as a seasoning, I eat more ranch than anything.
That's your favorite.
I even have, I keep like bottles of ranch. I have like the powdered ranch. I have everything, and it is like almost a perfect rendition of a really spicy ranch.
Okay,
it's perfect.
Maybe I'll try it again with that in mind. Speaking of getting sick of seasonings, for the longest time I was making these homemade chicken burrito type things where I'd put the wrap in my cast iron pan, then put everything, the already grilled chicken on top of it and like cook it in there. I was using Cosmo's chili wing, but I got like unbelievably sick of it like that. Like all of a sudden one day I'm like, I hate this. I don't ever want to have it again.
Weird.
So I'm looking for a replacement for that. I've tried the sweet chipotle lime. That is good, but not quite there. The Havana doesn't quite have what I'm looking for. So maybe it is. I'll give the firecracker rub a shot.
Do we know when we're getting our new BHA stuff in?
Have
we talked
like
about that?
The boards?
No, the seasoning.
Oh, no.
Because that ought to be close.
It should be close. The last thing I know is we sent it to Dylan. I will look into that and we'll find out. The boards should be coming hopefully in the next couple of weeks. The cutting mats. And then on next Friday's episode, which we'll record next Wednesday, it looks like it is going to be an Austin free episode. We will have Kurt Ratzliff back on. So it'll be Kurt and I. Kurt has been out doing some insane hunts, elk hunting. He's going to be out shooting birds. I will be out shooting birds this weekend. So we should hopefully have a couple of good things to discuss.
Is that next week?
That will be next week.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I got a picture from him. I think you got the same one of him potentially bagging an elk. I guess let him tell a story entirely, but it is awesome to hear what he goes and gets to do. And I don't know, I guess that's one of the things that happens when you retire. You got a lot of free time. What are you gonna spend it doing? But he spends a lot of his time just out hunting, out in the backcountry. I mean, that's why he's part of BHA, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. That's what he does.
Yep.
He's got some awesome stories.
Absolutely. And BHA, great organization. So easy to support them. We really like working with companies, charities, anything like that are easy to support. My father told me something once that stuck with me my whole life. He says, if you never lie, you're never going to have to remember anything. and not having to be like, oh yeah, we like working with them because instead, like you legitimately like what they do, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
On to Meat Matters. We've got a ton of things to talk about today. We will probably burn through a decent amount of these quickly. The first thing I want to talk about is it's an article from Meeting Place, and it's Inflation's Ripple Effects Rock Consumers. So the main takeaway from this was this index measures how American consumers view prospects for the finances in the general economy. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg had expected an increase in the index to 72.5. That is a 10-year high. That is the highest that number has been in 10 years. Now, part of that is consumer confidence. So there's other things that obviously go into that. That's not hard economics. It's kind of taking the pulse of the nation, I guess. And, people can be wrong for sure. But it's not a great sign.
Yeah. One of the things this article talked about was prices on meat and how that affects sales volume. And it was talking about beef jumping 33%, pork and chicken rose 38 and 19% respectively, and sales volumes declined. So, I mean, I kind of expect that supply and demand holds true. If the price of something goes up, people buy less. But at the same time, I'm like, it's food. Like, what are people shifting to? If they're buying less meat, are they just eating more grains?
I would imagine.
Just didn't know because I don't know. I don't feel like I change what I buy all that much on food. I normally have a tendency to change other things I'm doing. And food is like, I'm still going to buy the same thing on food.
100% with you on that.
I change other lifestyle habits to accommodate.
I don't eat out very often anyways, but that would be one thing. Like I would say, all right, we're not eating out anymore. But,
yeah.
It's funny. We get gift cards through work occasionally for like breaking a record on most packages shipped or like on your birthday. When I get one, it is used within 48 hours, no exceptions every time. My wife and I are like, ooh, because we go out to eat maybe like, unless we're on vacation, like 4 times a year, maybe.
I think I still have the last Firebirds gift card. I don't know if that's from a year ago or 2 years ago.
Do you think it's still valid?
Oh, yeah, it's still valid. You can't expire gift cards in less than 7 years, I believe, is what the law is. And I've looked at that because to be honest, I don't like expiring gift cards, but I put something on the gift cards we sell as an expiration date because there gets a time when it's a mess to maintain and track. So if we have a gift card that's out there that's 12 years old, we write it all off and just go, it's gone.
Changed systems at that point. So yeah, although you could look at it like that $100 back then, like use your gift cards right away now with inflation. As soon as you get it, use it. Don't hold on to anything. So I was looking up who came up with the law of supply and demand. I know we've talked about Keynes. Can't think of his first name, John Maynard Keynes, but that's not right. I was hoping it was him because that's the guy that said World War I couldn't possibly go on for more than 3 months. For some reason, we still pay attention to Keynesian economics. So if he was wrong with this, or if he came up with this too, I was going to point out that he made one of the worst calls of all time, and we should stop listening to him. Anyways, sorry, rant. Going on, we have Tyson's Foods earning tops expectation amid surging meat prices. Says, why does it start off with yesterday? Okay, bear with me here. Yesterday, in no small part because its price of beef jumped nearly 33% during the quarter, while pork and chicken prices rose 38 and 19% respectively. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely an insane jump. That can't last, and it's not gonna last. I've got another article here by that's the Meeting Place too. about Cisco. So Cisco is big Cisco is big everywhere. They're seeing their economic models have inflation continuing to like mid 2022 and then leveling and falling off fairly rapidly. Now, deflation of the dollar is also not something that is great because it's losing value internally.
Well,
or is it gaining value?
It's technically gaining value.
God,
if you bought $100 of something today,
okay,
$100 got you 100 widgets.
Okay.
Tomorrow, if there was deflation, $100 would buy you 110 widgets.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening, I had to close my eyes there and make a concentrating face to make sure I got that. So that is the level of intelligence you're getting when you listen to this podcast.
We are all now dumber to it.
Great. Absolutely great. TexasMonthly.com has an article on Texas Tech winning its third straight meat judging contest. So I wanted to highlight one specific part of this because meat judging is something that's always been fairly interesting to me as well, as long as I've worked here, because it sounds like such a, not a ridiculous thing to do. It sounds like such a niche kind of extra thing to do. But meat judging practices can run 12 to 14 hours. Jon, you were an athlete growing up your whole life. You ever practice for 12 to 14 hours? Nope. That's insane. Consisting of quick fire challenges like yield grading. That means judging the exact specs of a ribeye or other cut of meat unremoved from the cow carcass using your eyes and a Scantron only. Now, at the national championships, the best graders call the size within a tenth of an inch. The fat thickness is called to the millimeter.
Wow.
That's insane. I mean, we think we know meat, right?
Oh.
We would be sorely outclassed if we went there.
Yeah, and like for me, they're what it sounds like anyways, they're doing meat judging based on fresh meat.
Okay.
And I will be the first to say I am not like the world's best expert on fresh meat. Now you want to talk processed meat,
different
and
story.
Smoked and cured, and I can compete there.
I should 100% clear that up. I am talking about fresh meat there. We should go down there and kick their butts at cured meat challenges.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh God, wouldn't that be embarrassing?
Yeah.
We'll take I forget his name from Panhandle State University, the director down there. Take him down there. We'll take his students and we'll go up against the Texas Tech guys. I mean,
to be honest, that
Texas Tech,
it's at least Tech and it's not A&M or UT.
So I always, for whatever reason, growing up, disliked Texas A&M. And I think it was when I was down in Texas, when I lived there, I met a few. And I was a very different person at that age. And I just didn't like them. They seemed weird and kind of culty almost. But I don't know. I watched that crowd reaction when they beat Alabama and like the focusing in on the family of the kicker. I just got like goosebumps and a great rush from that. I'm like, that is awesome. So I've kind of changed my mind on Texas A&M. I'm sure everybody vastly interested in my opinions on Texas A&M. All right. There is a study that's linking a particular kind of fat, not the amount, to higher risks of stroke. So what they have determined is that the type of fat is more important than the amount of fat you have for, it only said strokes in the headline, but it also did mention heart attacks in the article. They're claiming that eating more animal fat raises your risks of strokes and heart attacks. Getting your fat from vegetables, nuts, does not have the same increase. However, I have very good news for you. This study is nonsense, and we can throw it all right out. Do you know why? And I had to do some digging to find this. The researchers gathered data on fat intake and type and source of fat using food frequency questionnaires. Hey, what did you eat? People lie. This has been shown so many times. Even when you do it on a weekly or maybe even a daily basis, people either forget or lie. Have you ever seen one of those like Biggest Loser and they follow the person around? They're like, oh, I just had a salad and a reasonable piece of chicken for dinner. I don't know why I can't lose weight. And they're like, no. We have a camera. You were snacking on, you ate 2 bags of chips while you're doing this, half bag of pretzels.
Yeah.
So none of these make sense. Also, they did these every 4 years. So they follow these people for 16 or 20 years, and they did it every 4 years. Hey, how have you been eating for the last 4 years?
Yeah, that's not reliable.
It's absolutely useless, and it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, I hate when there's stuff like that, and I don't know, not a scientist, but my assumption would be it's probably not as much what you eat, it's the quantity of what you eat too. Like, I'm fat and overweight right now. I know I'm unhealthy, and if I was eating healthy food, which I'm not. Right. I got fat eating unhealthy food. That's the way to do it. Dude, I pity the fool that got fat eating healthy food.
Eat a lot of kale and you just kept getting bigger.
No, but so like if you eat a little bit of bad food, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Okay. But if you eat a lot of bad food, it's going to be a whole lot worse. If you still eat it, I don't know. If I'm going to get into a tirade that I shouldn't be on, but if you just because you eat something doesn't mean you're going to have negative effects from it. But I've just accepted that I don't really care what studies say, because I'm always gonna eat red meat no matter how many studies come out and say, oh, it's gonna cause this and that. I don't care. I'm at the end of the day, I'm gonna have some fun while I live. Like 100%. Within reason. Like that, I'm not gonna go crazy, but I'm not gonna be so strict and stringent on things that I can't enjoy a good ribeye.
Well, here's another portion of this is they've been trying to get us to eat less meat for the last 20 something years. So I see all of this as a lie. It's a problem now how little I trust authority figures. Like, I just don't believe anything you're saying. I think it's all propaganda, which is not great. Kind of what you were saying. Do you remember in 2010, I want to say he was a science teacher at a high school, was trying to convince his students that it's calorie intake that has an effect on weight loss or gain, not what you eat. Mm-hmm. So he ate the 2,000 calories a day in Twinkies and lost 27 pounds.
Yeah.
So it is, again, we've said it many times on this, different people's bodies react differently to different types of diets, but strict caloric intake, like restricting that to what you should be eating every day, is going to have some effect on your body mass. It might not have much effect on, how your heart's doing, all that, but you will lose weight. Okay. This was really cool. So UW-Madison is meat science and animal biologics program. They are building a new building. They're saying sky's the limit, and I'm tending to believe them. Beyond the $57 million building's area entryway is arguably the most advanced university meat science facility in the nation. The 67,000 square foot facility is the definition of state of the art, boasting a USDA-inspected meat processing pilot plant, a biosafety level 2 processing and laboratory facility, a chemistry and molecular biology discovery and teaching labs. Now, in addition to offices and conference rooms, the MSABD building also houses sensory testing rooms, classrooms with high-tech AV and theater viewing of refrigerated displays, and Buc-ee's Varsity Meats, the program's consumer-facing retail store. What exactly is a theater viewing of refrigerated displays, and can we have one here? I'm imagining that you get to sit down and watch into your freezer.
Probably. So I've been into a few university facilities. The one I've most frequently been to is Kansas State's.
Okay.
In that one, they have like a theater seating room that like the rail comes into, so they can bring whole carcass in, they can do stuff right in there. So in my mind, it's like that type of thing, but instead of having it in the room, you're sitting in theater seating and glass. So the other side, you're watching all the stuff go on. Yeah,
nice.
So, but they do that because that's how you teach people.
Sure,
you got to watch it, you got to see it happen.
Have you ever been into the acid room?
No, I don't think so.
So I know Kansas State has it. It is a rail system where the floor opens up and there is literally a vat of acid down there, and they dispose of certain biological wastes through that. So if they're working with like mad cow disease or something, that's how they have to get rid of the biological material. It's literally a James Bond villain. There's somebody up at KSU who has one eye and a hook for a hand who trying to take over the world.
Do you know, is that out of their actual meat processing facility, or is that out of the biosecurity center?
I'd imagine it's the biosecurity center. I also know that it's negative pressure, so nothing escapes.
Then that would be the biosecurity.
It's so awesome.
Yeah. It's definitely not the meat processing facility, the general one.
Yeah, probably not. Kind of on the same page, or well, not really on the same page, but since we brought up mad cow disease, I really quickly wanted to talk about this. The industry group calls for suspension of Brazilian beef imports, and it says in 2021, Brazil apparently had some unreported cases of mad cow disease. So Tom Vilsack, who we've talked about recently on here, they're calling on him to suspend imports of fresh beef from Brazil over concerns that the country's animal health agencies aren't reporting outbreaks of animal disease in a timely fashion. In the past, and I don't know why I thought this, I didn't think mad cow disease was actually a threat to humans. I didn't think it crossed over. So I did some looking on it here, and here's something I didn't know. I asked, can people get BSE, which is the blah semper anthropathology, whatever that word is. It says people can get a version of BSE called variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. I nailed that reading that word. That was not an easy one. As of 2019, 232 people worldwide are known to have become sick with it. And unfortunately, they all died. Every one of them. So there's no cure for this. It is thought that they got the disease from eating food made from cows sick with BSE. My initial response to this was going to be, I think that's a little bit overreaction because we do import a lot of beef from Brazil. Now I'm thinking maybe that's a good thing. Beef price is probably going to go up though if we do it because we import a lot of beef.
Yeah, which is weird because we also export a lot of beef, but that's how the world market works anymore.
I did a pod where I talked about recently this plant in Pennsylvania that has done like negative pressure. They burnt down, and they kind of took that as a opportunity to upgrade a bunch of things. And one of the things that they found is that they have a really demanding market in China for high grade offal. So is it just that in some areas there's different taste on like what is a prime cut? So we'll send you these because your people really like that. Give us these. Yeah. I mean, it could be, right?
Could be, yeah.
Although how you can't just like a ribeye? Communist. Straight off the bat. That's got to be what it is. Now I'm jumping around, and this could get us into some trouble, but there is more African swine fever in China. It is in 2 provinces, and that could be really interesting to see what it does to the markets for pork in the U.S. because we talked about it a few podcasts ago. They were saying that their pork production was becoming very robust. So I'm wondering what this is going to do. Could there be such a high demand over there that we see our pork prices rise even further?
Yeah, could. Depends on what really happens there. It said that the strain is not as deadly as the one from 2018 that like killed off almost like half of their hog production.
But you still can't eat those pigs. Those pigs have to be killed and disposed of.
Yeah, it said that there's the surviving pigs still had like necrosis, so it's not like they just catch a cold and they're better.
Yep.
So
it might not say that in that, but I read another article on it, and they are. I can't say that. I can say one processor in China is disposing of the pigs, not for human consumption. I don't know if I'd care as much if pork went up. I don't eat anywhere near as much pork as I do beef. Not even remotely close.
I don't know. I feel like I go through phases. Sometimes I eat a lot more pork than beef. Right now, I'm definitely eating more beef than pork.
Sure.
Feel like my chicken intake is probably more steady, and beef and pork can flip back and forth, but definitely more beef right now.
When you're eating a lot of pork, like what do you like? Pork cutlets, chops? Like what do you have that would be a dinner based around pork?
Usually I buy like whole pork loins and cut them up into boneless chops. Best way to do it. So much cheaper than paying for actual chops.
Yep. Fair point. Plus you are a well-known stuffed pork loin.
I'm a connoisseur.
I was going to say
bigger words in perpetuity.
Phenomenon or no, what is that word? Darn it. Phenom. I mean, your stuffed porks are quite good.
Somebody here the other day was talking about stuffed pork loin and how Colton taught him to do it. And I'm like, whoa. I taught Colton how to do that.
Don't go to him for anything. Come right to the master. In something that's not surprising me at all at this point, Beyond Meat is just slammed again. The net loss over the the total net loss is $54 million, and net revenues are down 51%. Well below last year's performance, and that was a loss too. Last year during this period, they lost 19.3. So their share price is tanking. I'm curious to see how many people bet heavy on this, because what was it, 3 years ago when Beyond Beef was everything? People were talking about it left and right. You brought it in to try to trick me. Actually, you did trick me. What did I think it tasted like? Buffalo?
Yeah.
I think that was
I think you said buffalo.
So it's not bad. I think it was a poor market strategy. I mean, we found out a couple of weeks ago that they sell everything at a loss in an attempt to like capture the market, and then they would raise their prices. Did you not think anyone else was going to go, oh, we could do that too?
Yeah. And it may not be a raising prices thing. It may just be getting to a certain level of production to lower prices, because that's a lot of people's game plan on stuff. But my biggest question there is, and I don't know if it said in the article, like, is their revenue really down that far, or is a lot of it speculation about their share price? Because I mean, I've in recent weeks, I constantly hear about them in the news, and they signed like McDonald's to some big deal. So it's not like they're not getting into the market and getting new things and getting new market share, but are they losing enough in other areas that when they sign McDonald's on that they're not actually growing? But at the end of the day, I think it's still a long game, because I think whether it's that company or companies like it, I think there's going to be a market for them forever. But I don't think it'll become like the mainstream. Over 50% of quote unquote meat is fake meat. But
so it was net revenues came in at 106 million, gross profit 23 million. However, net loss of 54.8 million. So it's real cash.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I was looking up real quick because that, for whatever reason, I did not think it was Beyond Meat that had partnered with McDonald's, but you are correct. It was Beyond Meat. It's the first time for everything. I just wanted to call this out. The world's number 2 ranked restaurant is Ditching Meat. So it's one of the very few Michelin 3-star restaurants. It's in Copenhagen, and the inspiration behind it was one of the chefs who said, I ditched meat 3 months ago or something, like not incredible. I started a plant-based diet 5 months ago, and I feel great. Good. Happy for you. I hope you fail. That's it. That's what I have on that one. That made me annoyed. Like, it's so preachy. Like, oh, I don't eat meat anymore, and dogs are nicer to me, and I'm a better person. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
There is, know how to say this, Nop Meats.
I have no idea.
Yeah, well, they were a customer of ours at one time. I don't know if they still are. They've announced that they are not doing any deer this year, and I believe from skimming the article, they did do it last year, even though it was difficult. They determined this year that they're not going to be able to do that. That being said, anyone who's a deer hunter who usually takes your deer to be processed somewhere, learn how to do it at home. We have great videos out there with Kurt Ratzliff on how to skin, what cuts, how to break down the entire carcass. And then once you have that, we have tons of stuff on Meatgistics on how to make snack steaks, summer sausage, jerky, all of that with venison. It is well worth the small investment that it initially takes. And on the same note, if anyone listening to this is not a hunter but is interested in it, I want to point out that the NRA is now offering an online only hunter's safety course. It's not valid in all states, so make sure it is valid for your state, but there is no field day test. You do it 100% online, and then you are good to go. So if you haven't hunted in the past, but you're interested in it, now is the time to do it. Then we've got, did you have anything on that?
Oh, I did, but it lost it. I lost it.
Happens all the time.
Yeah,
if I don't get a thought out immediately at this point, my brain just ditches it, and I probably won't think about it again until the middle of the night a month from now.
Yeah.
So the USDA has extended cell-based meat and poultry comment period. I don't know how valuable a comment period on something like that is from the US public. You're going to get some people who just don't want anything new. You're going to get other people who think the newest way is the best way. On something like this, why don't we just let the scientists figure out if this is going to work or not?
Are they publicly reviewable? It'd be interesting. I'd like to go in there and see what people submitted.
Usually they're not. That is a very good question. I'm going to email myself right now so that I don't lose that one. As we just talked about, I lose everything.
Because if they did, that would be kind of fun to pick out some of the crazies and post them on Meatgistics and just let people have a good laugh over it.
Okay, I just emailed myself, and we will try to find that out. There it is. Next article is American food groups to build a new beef plant in Missouri. So this is going to be in Warren County. Steve Ecker, the business development for this alphabet soup thing, says the facility will create more than 1,300 jobs and potentially invest $450 million into the region. We expect a total positive economic impact of approximately $1 billion for our region. It doesn't give a time period for that, so I assume that's just overall time. And an annual payroll of more than $80 million to support our local businesses. That's awesome. The beef industry is not going anywhere. I mean, it feels like every third podcast we're talking about some new huge plant that's being opened up. You've got the big four who control now 85% of the beef production in real trouble, not just little, slap on the wrist and go back to what you're doing. There are more emails that are leaking between these executives that are proving price fixing. So somebody with enough capital to do it correctly could take a sizable chunk out of the industry.
Yeah. Like we've talked in the past, I mean, we've seen record numbers of small and mid-size processors popping up all over the country. But in one of the other articles we were looking at earlier, it talked about Tyson's building 12 new meat plants. And if Tyson's building one, we're not talking about like a small to mid-size. Everything they build is huge. So it's whether it's beef, pork, chicken, the whole meat industry, it's not going anywhere. It's continuing to grow, especially right now. It's growing crazy. Small processors, large processors, everybody's booming.
I want to know why I so strongly only associate Tyson with chicken.
Oh, just because that's what you see their name on more often, maybe.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen a cut of beef with a Tyson package on it. Excuse me.
Yeah, because so if you're talking like beef and say a ribeye that's in the foam backing with the plastic wrap over it, I mean it could be any number of people's or whichever company's product, but when a store gets it in, they're packaging it. A lot of times they're cutting it. They've got a bandsaw in the meat the meat department of the grocery store or whatever. They're taking chunks of meat, cutting them down to the exact cut, and then packaging them there themselves. Some places don't do that, but a lot of places do. So if you do that, I mean, there's no way to put a sticker on it that says this is
came from
Tyson or whoever it comes from. So it's just the store brand.
Do you think they like that their name isn't on it, or don't like it? Right now, I bet you they like that their name isn't on it.
I don't know. I could see it going both ways because you lose a little bit of brand recognition, but if their name was on it, they'd also have to have a lot more out there for packaging and deal with a lot more there, which gets really crazy. I've sat through so many different like lectures and presentations on how to package and this method, that method, how it works here, what are consumers looking for. I mean, packaging changes frequently just because consumers grow attached to something different. And so that's it. It's on somebody to change how things are being done and how it's being packaged, but they kind of get a skip out on some of that because they just ship in boxed beef and make the store deal with it.
Yeah, it's not a bad way, especially if you're not wanting your name on everything you do. You are right. I think of Tyson chicken because I think of the frozen chicken breasts and wings with the Tyson name in that big red oval. Yeah, right now that is probably advantageous to them. All right. So this is gimmicky, but absolutely 100% up my alley. Hormel is coming out with a bacon holiday wrap. Wrapping paper, not, some sort of like falafel type wrap. Wrapping paper that looks and smells like bacon.
Smells like bacon?
I absolutely am going to try to find at least some of this.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try to find some now. If it just looked like it, I'd be like, But no, if it smells like it too, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome. Hormel's actually pretty good at a lot of the public relation stuff they do. They've got a pretty good team there because I have a far more positive thoughts about Hormel than I do really any of those other big meat companies. Though that could definitely be just because I know somebody who works at a plant. I'm not above being a little biased, I suppose. Oh no, it has put over. Like I have to move it. Okay. Nope, that didn't work either. There's an article back there that I can't get to. Talk. Say something.
You wanting to talk about Wayne Farms or the Brazilian beef imports?
Already did the Brazilian beef imports. This is Vietnam is dropping pork tariffs from 15 to 10% on U.S. imports. So 2019, it got dropped down to 10. We increased our exports to Vietnam by something like 50%. Then they jacked them back up to 15. Pork farmers in the U.S. started lobbying a bunch of politicians to try to get them to put pressure on Vietnam to drop that back down. They did do that, and hopefully our exports to Vietnam for pork will go right back up. I want to real quick give these lawmakers some credit. You've got Ron Kine from Wisconsin, Darren LaHood, Illinois. I was going to say, it doesn't say, it just says the third. They look like all ones.
Yeah.
Jim Costa from California and Dusty Johnson from South Dakota were the main people pushing this. So
seeing the ILL it makes me think, totally tangent on storylines here, but I've got a almost 3-year-old at home, and I read at least 2, sometimes more books with him at night. And he likes to go through, and like, he can't read, but I mean, he's getting some concepts there, and he can spell out the letters in a word and say it. And I don't know that he's quite got the concept of actually reading, but he quote unquote reads.
Okay.
Weird. But as he's going through and pointing things out, like, he'll get to an L, and it's sometimes an L, sometimes it's a number 1, sometimes it's an I, and he always he starts to say it and then looks up at me and smiles and picks one. And I'm like, no, it's the other one.
One of my earliest memories is being in school and reading out loud. And I have no idea how this is possible, but I had never read the word "the" out loud. I have no idea how that was possible, because I think I was in 1st or 2nd grade, but I went to hell. And that was the reaction from the entire class. So I will never forget that.
I've got Dumb and Dumber, Harry and Lloyd pictured in my head.
Pretty much.
Just like that.
Pretty much.
That's amazing.
Pretty much. I was a child, Austin. How dare you? Tyson, did we already talk about this? Yes, we did. But with beef prices just going astronomical, I want to do a price comparison per pound in buying a half and getting all of that at a butcher store. We've got to know somebody who somewhat regularly buys halves or quarters.
Oh, on what the price is?
Yeah.
I can probably help you out there.
Yeah, find out what that is.
Okay.
Through John?
Yeah. Oh. My in-laws, they raise their own cattle. They get them butchered. That's what they do.
Awesome. I will give them a free shout out in this podcast for a quarter. That sounds like fair.
Wait, so do you want to know what it costs for someone to buy the quarter, or what the quarter costs to get processed?
Nope. I want to know what a end user would pay them for a quarter. And then also if they can tell me the breakdown of what cuts are included in that quarter.
Oh, yeah.
So then I can price shop that and see how much cheaper it is to buy a whole quarter at a time. Because I think we're there where I need to just buy a quarter. I've got a chest freezer. I've got this here if I need it. I don't trust any of you people, so it'll go back to being locked. Well, you I trust.
I mean, the other great thing about buying a quarter or a half beef or something is you get to choose kind of what you want out of the cuts. So you can just ask the processor to make them all fillets or all ribeyes, and you really come out on top.
Yeah.
That's a legit deal. I've had and heard processors complain because people will ask for
right. Yeah.
Hey, I want it all in ribeyes. Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Not how it goes.
You're getting half a cow.
I will take spinaluses and nothing else. Just a whole cow of spinaluses, because that is my favorite part of the ribeye, is that little spinalis cap. I love that. Yeah. I refuse to buy a ribeye no matter how well or how good the rest of it looks if it doesn't have a nice sized cap on it. I will tell the guy, nope, the one further back. No, behind that one.
Wait, do you always buy them out of the actual meat case if you're just buying from the grocery store, or do you buy the prepackaged ones? Or
I usually buy it out of the meat case.
Okay. I don't know. I have done a little bit of both, but I honestly haven't bought a ribeye in a long time because we still have leftover ribeyes from our steak comp, and I'm going to be eating ribeyes for the next year.
When he says some, what's the total number between the three of you in there?
I don't know.
400?
Probably.
Yeah, it's in that range.
My dad, my brother, and me each like have like a whole box just separated. Like that's yours, that's yours, that's yours. And then we've had some others that we've done for some like bigger meals and stuff where we've cooked for like 20 people and we cook steak for everybody because we haven't, but we bought 10 grand in steak and for a few reasons. Right. One, we didn't cook as many as we thought we were going to cook. And then two, we didn't have as many teams and there was some other stuff that we ended up with a lot.
Yes.
So,
yes. So, all right. That was the last thing I had. Is that correct? I really do need to start going in order on this. Just jumping around stuff. The problem is I get excited to talk about something else or I say something that's like tangentially related. So I grab that one.
I'm gonna create I had a template at one time for all the podcasts in our notes inside of OneNote.
Okay.
And we don't use that anymore, but I'm gonna make a new one and tell you that you have to do it in that order. I have like bullet points and numbers and make it look like an actual outline.
That sounds scary.
Yeah.
I don't like that. No, yeah, we could use that for sure. All right. Make sure you're checking in on Monday. I may even flip everything live Sunday night. So Sunday, Monday, check out waltonsinc.com/sales or our YouTube page for our Thanks Black Monday sales. We've said it the last time, but some of you will be pleased. Some of you might possibly be upset. We have gone to a straight sales video. It is not some gimmick. It is just, this is what we have for sale.
Yeah, that's okay. Are we at least going to do one fun video this year? Like New Year's?
We might do something, yeah. But Christmas is also going to be a very well done and holiday themed, but not like me writing a letter to Santa or like reading a book to children. It was going to be Home Alone.
Does Patrick like have any good bloopers? Do we know of anything there? No.
We don't. There really aren't any bloopers. Once we stopped going off a script, bloopers went like straight down because all of them were from me not being able to read what I wrote. Like I'm like, why would I say it like that? That's not how you make a sentence. So, all right, that's
cool.
it.
That's all I got.
As always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you're listening. It really does help. Thanks, guys.
See you next week. Or actually, I won't.
No, you won't.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics Podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltonsinc.com. And to get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Walton's, everything but the meat.